Hey everybody, Vinny SOB here, and I am playing the Company of Heroes 2 Wikinger mod, and this is version 3.1.6, so it just released today. I believe today is the 26th, and so far so good. What I did is I went ahead, put the computer on easy, and before I had played through it, and it takes a long time to get everything squared away, so I beat on them until I had enough points to unlock some things. And right now, what we're going to look at is there's been changes, a bunch of changes, but the most significant change is that they've added a completed infantry doctrine. So, and I know you may have seen some of the beta videos I've been doing. So apparently there's some new skills in this, and they fine-tuned some of the items. Now, if you've played the American doctrines before, you know their riflemen are pretty versatile. You could do a lot with them. You may notice now, though, that this has changed. In real life, rifle teams had a bar and somebody with a rifle grenade, and they may have had a grease gun or a Thompson. It depended. There's a lot of cool stuff you can look up about World War II, about how the American rifle squads were set up. But at any rate, so what they've done is they've actually toned it down to where you cannot just put anything on. Well, I guess you can technically put anything, but you have to basically choose. Are you going to go with a more anti-tank rifle squad, or are you going to go with a more suppression style rifle squad? So
we lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Okay, well, at any rate, so I've beaten them into oblivion, and now I have 32 points. Should cover everything. So here I have a new set of riflemen I built, and this is before picking a doctrine. I have not picked one, and so you'll see how they're set up here for their unlockable things. Now with Wikinger, you have to be either near your headquarters or near one of these supply trucks to be able to unlock weapons for your units. Supply that guy? Okay, so I'm here at the headquarters, and so you can click this. It's specialized. You can either add an M191A4 LMG, or you can go with a bazooka, depending. Well, I normally put the bazooka, but this machine gun's pretty nice. So it does make them a pretty deadly squad for locking down other squads. The rifle grenades are great, and a bar is always good too. So you get to pick one of these two things. You're going to have a more of an anti-tank style squad, or more of like a infantry suppression style squad. So we'll go with the machine gun, and you see the bazooka disappears. So you can also put a bar, put rifle grenade, and you can put med kit. Now rifle grenades, again, most rifle squads, which were actually, I believe, 12-man squads broken into two. But that has really nothing to do with the mod, I guess. But at any rate, so here you have it. Rifle squad. Now they have a bar in the squad and an LMG. So, and they have the guy with the rifle grenade. So now they're going to be more of an infantry-based squad. Some things I just want to go over with the Wikinger mod that if you have not played it, you may not notice or have known about. They have a cool bushes mechanic, which gives your I believe what it does, at least last time they were discussing how it worked, is it gives you increased sight range. And you have to be a vet level 1 to be able to put the bushes on. So it will increase your sight range. It's not where it gives you the bonus to hit like the standard, camouflage net.
Send your orders.
And as you can see, the tank destroyer here does not have the ability to put bushes on. They may do that later, I don't know. But medium and heavy tanks do. I have been messing around building some stuff as well, putting up some 50 cal nests. So that's one thing you'll notice. Of course, it does have the camouflage mechanic. They do have this cool bushes mechanic too, which is very historically accurate. And Wikinger, of course, is looking for historical accuracy. You can also see here the anti-air half track I have puts this cool bushes and some ammo cans around it and stuff. Very cool. So they don't immediately stand out to the enemy either. So what we're going to do here, if you take a look, this is before any doctrine's picked. You notice that rear echelon troops are now engineers, which is realistic. They were called engineers. So, and you have the little castle emblem, which was their historic emblem. You have standard riflemen. You have a 50 cal machine gun team, which is very good. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of the 50 cal will chew through light vehicles, so it's really good. It's not quite as good at suppressing troops as it is as the 30 cal is, but it works, suppresses, it will pin, but it's great against vehicles. You have your military supply truck, which again in this mod you can use it to put your weapons on your vehicles and also on your troops if you have not done that at the HQ, or if you built something in a hurry and got it out of there or didn't have the munitions at the time, you can bring this up to the forward lines. Sometimes it's handy to have it at a forward retreat point here, because I can actually just have my troops pop out here instead of having them pop out back at the headquarters and move them here. And once they're here, I can just put the weapons on them. So, all right. So, and we also have just the regular 50 cal Jeep or whatever light truck. You do have a medic, and it's just one medic. He has a pistol. He doesn't set up a medic station. You can send him out with your troops, and he can use his health pack to heal them. I don't use this very much. You can put a medic station at the base, which we'll look at shortly here, but also you have ambulances, and you could set up forward items, bases that can heal. You do have the forward HQ ability here too, which has a cooldown timer, of course. So let's look at these real quick. Now these have become engineers. One thing you're going to notice, you can either make them a hazardous removal package, or you can give them a med kit. There is no flamethrower here. So that's definitely different. Before rear echelon troops could put the flamethrower on, they no longer can. So now that they're engineers, so you have to rely on other units for flame. Now this guy, I happen to pick up a Panzer Track. Oh, these guys are super deadly.
Ready. Go ahead.
But at any rate, I picked up a Panzer Track, which is why they have that emblem there. But yeah, no more flame. Now, what they could do, they could sprint, throw grenades, repair stuff, of course. One cool thing in Wikinger is all the units can get down into a prone position, which makes them harder to hit. Very cool. Stand them up. They can do a timed explosive charge. These don't have to be unlocked. These are things they come with. As far as the Americans,
Armor here. Load high velocity AV.
oh, it's dead.
Enemy armor. Swing the gun. Check the leg. Move it. Move it.
Just give me a second here.
Back to the HQ. Run.
Yeah,
Where's that coming from?
these tank destroyers in.
Get that 3-inch ready. Lock her down. You're in displays. Get us over.
Alright, just give me a second here, guys.
Move it out. Let's go.
Now, this squad doesn't have a bazooka. This is the one I made in the anti-infantry squad. So they're not going to be any good. I don't want you indoors there.
Get down.
They don't. No, they're going to see him now.
Vehicle ready. Jump to it.
Let's see. Sorry, this wasn't planned. I guess they decided to attack me, and I don't have any heavy armor unlocked. So, like I said, I didn't pick a dock.
Detail on me.
nothing.
Contact! Where's he at? To the other side. Let's go.
These guys. Oh, that thing's about dead. I'm just gonna charge it. I know they have another.
Move her out. Let's get to it.
Lost it here. So oh shit! That's
We're on Fox!
I didn't know they had all that other stuff. All right.
Just lost a medium tank.
Get out of here. You'll notice in Wikinger another thing. I know I'm getting off topic, but in Wikinger, a lot of the time you'll have tank crews be able to survive. And it turns out, I actually researched this because at first I thought, why are these things surviving? In real life, like Sherman crews, for example, they lost 0.6 of a team member, crew member. So it's actually very common for tank crews to survive. So they lost less than one tank crew member when they lost a tank. So it's more realistic to actually have the tank crew survive. Come on, guys, you gotta fire. Oh shit, there's only one left. He's dead.
We just lost a unit. Get that 3-inch red crew. Get on it. Driver, let's
This
go.
was not good timing for this, and I just lost that guy. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get attacked by multiple armor units.
Lock her down. Let's get it done, boys. Get him with what the hell? Keep it coming.
Right in the ass, too.
Knock that tiger out. Get it moving. Get us the fuck out of here.
Vision,
We've been
nice.
promoted. Wait, this is it.
Oh shit, anti-tank.
Go, try.
Alright, let me... of course, why wouldn't this happen when I'm trying to show you this?
Air detail on me.
Makes perfect sense. Alright.
Jump to it.
See, a few other times they had come
Rear
through,
echelon troops on the front line.
and what they did was they came around from the right
Come on!
over here. That's why I set this all up, and now they're coming from the other side. So what I'll do,
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
because I need to get into a lot of stuff here, so
Into the trench. Jump to it.
that down.
Get that 3-inch ready. Driver, let's
This
go.
up, put him in camo, and then nothing.
Fire!
Get this guy. And here's the thing, these tank crews, at first I was like, oh man, there's tank crews hanging around. They are amazing at repairing stuff, for one, which is great. Oh, there's an anti-tank gun there.
Hurry, get it done.
Alright, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get out of here.
Nail him with grenade.
Use a rifle grenade, because that pistol will not be able to hit me from here.
That got him. Move,
Sprint
goddammit.
up, get rid of this.
What the hell am I meant to do with these? Cut that infantry down.
Protected behind that. Oh shit, that hurt. Alright, I do have a little retreat point back here set
Waiting
up too
orders.
with the ambulance, which you can make an ambulance retreat point. Yeah, and you see how fast those guys will fix stuff. These so tank crews are actually extremely handy.
Don't get bogged down.
Plus they can fight. Some of them have pistols, some of them have, like, grease guns, so they can fight. I mean, they're not really great, and they're only good at close range, but hey, they actually are pretty handy. You may get a bunch of them if you have a lot of tank battles going on. And what you can do with them is you can get rid of them with the officer. Just click on withdraw unit, sends it off the thing, and you get your resources back. Alright, back to this. Engineers. Okay, I'm going to pick one with the health pack, and I'll pick one with the mine detector, and they also get, you know, cutting barbed wire, things of that nature. It does not change what they can build. However, what they can build, just to go over them real quick, Again, because they're not flamethrower troops anymore, they're not very good on the front lines. These are really designed to do all the dirty work and repair, things like that, of that nature. But you can build these machine gun emplacements with 50 cals in them. You can only build 3. I already set up 3. Do razor wire, sandbags, tank traps. You can put a regular trench up. You can build a fighting position, which is unique to the U.S., and they can get a 50 cal emplacement in that too. And I think you can build 3 of those as well. You can do your your standard tank mines and whatever, all your different mines. In fact, you can get that and a health pack. So if you choose to, you can convert these guys into hazardous removal package if you want to spend the munitions. It's not much either. You might as well always do it. Alright, that's new. So as far as what they can build these forward medic stations, which again is why this medic unit is not that handy. Plus, unlike Blitzkrieg and other mods from Company of Heroes 1, they had that linking command where you could like attach officer to units and attach certain vehicles to other units to help support. I guess if they had the attach thing, maybe the medic would be cool to run around with a squad. But you can unlock health kits for almost all the squads, or if not all of them anyway, except for things like like mortar crews and machine gun nests, anti-tank guns, things like that. So the medic can be handy in that regard, but I don't usually build them too much, so
Listen up, fellas.
or at all actually. So there you go. So you have what the engineers can do. Not a whole ton. Well, they can do a lot, but they're not fighting units anymore,
Steady up.
which I think is really cool. It makes you have to use that unit. It makes it a useful unit throughout the entire game. You're not up there
Steady up, fellas. I got orders.
fighting with them, which I also think is cool. So we're going to move this guy up real quick, and then we'll get into the doctrine. So we've gone over kind of 2 of the changes,
Inside. I'm making
which are the engineer, of course, and the
knock it off and listen up.
the engineer and the rifleman. And we showed how
Gather,
you
move
can
it
make
out.
them
Let's
basically
go.
infantry-based, infantry fighting-based, or designed to take on
Inside.
tanks, things, or armor. I'm gonna need another one over here. All right. What is this? These guys do have a bazooka.
Take your positions there. Cover off on the windows.
I don't want to rack out all my all my command points, but
All right, you dopes, listen up.
all right. Let these guys get better here. Shit. All right. Well, one thing you can do is from your forward base, you can build things. 50 cal machine gun, basic rifleman, or you can build anti-tank squads. Now, this is interesting because normally you can have 2 anti-tank squads that you build from your headquarters, right?
We lost a gun crew.
I guess I don't even have to. God bless it, I lost a gun crew. Where? Oh, here.
M10 tank destroyer ready.
Yeah, let's get this up here.
Lock her down. Here
This
it
does
comes.
have flanking speed.
Secure the main gun. Button the hatches. Crew, get on it.
Let's take a look.
Ready. Go ahead. Get it going. Move. Engage that armor. Snap to it. Go.
Destroyed. Come on, hide again, because I don't want this Panzer IV to see you.
Listen up.
But at any rate, I'm off topic and whatever else here. So, let's get this guy out. Nice.
Field promotion. Quick.
Damn it, it's
Get
visible.
out of here. Hurry, get it done. Hit it. Go, go.
Back
go.
up, back
Cover the
up.
flank. Vehicle ready. Change out to high velocity.
Okay, put it on vehicle attack only. Oh, missed.
On target. Hit him with heat.
Come on, man, you gotta hit him quick. Nice.
Get that 3-inch ready.
Nice.
Driver,
Okay.
get us over to that point.
Sorry, guys. This is not planned. I can't just let him run amok. With
Crew,
a bunch
get
of
on it.
with tiger tanks.
Armor here. No more waiting. This is it.
Man, these guys will repair this very quickly. What do we have here?
Tank ready. We just lost a unit.
Stand by orders! Put it to use! Grab that thing! Here it comes.
Get your heads in.
Here another tiger or something. Oh, it's Panzer. That's a stubby.
Send your orders. Jump to it. It's down! Vehicle ready. Crew set. Crew, get on it. Incoming fire!
Grab the bazooka too. Alright. That's a pretty effective squad of what's it called?
Armor ready.
Okay. Let's just kill this for good measure.
Clear breach block firing.
Okay, very good. You can do that by doing the attack move. There we go. So that was much longer than I expected.
Everybody on your feet!
So we've looked at the
Taking hits!
we've looked at the rifle team, which are very effective, which is great. We've looked at the Rangers or the shit. Damn it! Everything. Kill this guy. We looked at the engineers as well and the changes. And you see when that sprint wears off, they go into a tired mode. So it's a risk reward thing now, which is nice.
Get to that point!
Enemy neutralized.
Get over here. So it's risk reward because you get exhausted. Alright, now let's get to it here. I think I've got enough tank destroyers laying around now. I should be able to take on any of that stuff. So, we're going to pick a doctrine.
I got orders, boys.
We looked at what these guys can build before a doctrine. No, this is before a doctrine. So, that's how it works before a doctrine. So, and you have your standard building. So let's look at the next one. You know, your standard building. So your next thing you would unlock, and you don't unlock like in vanilla or in like Spearhead, you unlock the captain, the lieutenant. You don't have to do all that. You get your captain, you can unlock one to have it as a piece to use for very specific things. Supervising, building, and things like that. But you don't need to build it as a squad. It's like the old Blitzkrieg, or the old Company of Heroes 1. You just click a thing to unlock it, and then it would be the same as if you were building it next. So then it becomes functional. So here, as you start, you can build an anti-tank gun, a vehicle crew, a captain, which I already built one, and anti-tank squads. And it looks like you can build quite a few. Like normally, well, we'll see what happens. I do want to see, because I know I have one out there already that I built. Okay, so you can build 4 anti-tank squads total with the U.S., it looks like. Because I think I know I have one out here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3 out there right now. Or 3 out there right now. Because I built one for my forward base. Now let's see. Let's see if it'll let me do it once this other one pops up.
Change of plan.
Alright, that's quite a few anti-tank squads. Let's just get them up here real quick.
Listen up, fellas.
But that's important. I didn't realize you could build so many. I thought before you could only build 2.
Stand by.
So let's see, the forward base will still let me build more. Another one. So it looks like I can build 3 from the forward base, possibly.
What the hell am I meant to do with these?
Listen up.
Green as green can be.
Okay. And we'll know in a second here. So I have 1,
Change of plans.
2, 3, 4 anti-tank squads. That's it. So that's still more than you could build before. You can only build 2 before. Now you can build 4. So that's pretty cool. And one cool thing about anti-tank squads is anti-tank squads for America have an SMG in the squad. Still pretty ineffective overall. They're smaller squads, only 4 men. Yeah, but they have 2 Thompsons along with the 2 bazookas. So they can actually fight infantry. They're not that great at it, but they can do it.
Alright, man. Let's move out.
Let's get these guys out of the way. And with vehicle crews, the vehicle crews, they get their experience, and it only counts. They only get it from vehicles. So, like this guy is a level 0, and this guy was in the same type of vehicle. So I'm going to move him over here and put him in instead of this level 0 guy. So there we have it. 4 anti-tank squads, and he does not have a health pack. So let's move to the, what's it called, truck? The supply truck?
Where the hell was that bar? Get it up here. Let's move. Take up positions there.
And that will allow him to get, well, it's who's yelling medic. Oh, these guys. God bless it.
Stand by.
Alright, what we're going to do too,
Take up firing
I'm
position.
going to run him back here.
Hurry up and cover off on a window.
Now, you know what's, because this house is taking abuse. You know what, screw it. Let's just make this,
We can't get distracted. Keep
and I'll make it a retreat point. So as you can see, I cannot build anymore. So you get 4 anti-tank squads. Very cool. So
starting to get under my
like, I don't think it really matters if you build 4 from the headquarters or if you build 2 and 2. Now again, this is before picking a doctrine. So we're going to see how this works. We're going to pick a doctrine, and because we have a new infantry doctrine, I have videos with the others and plenty with this new beta, but there's supposed to be new stuff. So we're going to pick infantry.
Placement's in.
Here we go.
Green convey.
Let's see what we get. Now they've definitely changed the Ranger track, as you can see. And in fact, they've changed this as well. So first you're going to have your infantry track, which is for riflemen. It is an infantry doctrine. This replacement depot lets you quickly reinforce, very quickly. They will reinforce if you have guys missing from a rifleman troop. Also, it will build extremely fast. Now, this, oh wait, hold on a second. That's not the right one. Make sure. Okay, that's not the one that does that. Okay, so this is actually a replacement depot. So what happens when you get this? There's going to be 2 pretty important functions. First, what happens is, and let me do this real quick. I'm going to build a rifleman, and you'll see it has a normal building speed. And I want to show you the difference here. Unfortunately, I already upgraded that other rifleman, so I can't. So this is going to take a minute, unfortunately. But you can see here how the supply truck will let this guy get his health fixed.
Rifle squad ready for action. Watch your spacing.
Also, they have ambush, and one cool thing with Wikinger, you can actually use it to creep around. Like, some troops have evasive action, like spotter troops and some specialty troops, but you can see these guys can move around in the ambush mode. This is very effective. They can creep around into enemy territory. The ambush is very effective. But okay, so I have a set of riflemen here. Now you can see they have the same thing. You can do the unlock with them. Now I've picked rifles, so none of that changed. But if you look, these guys already have a bar on them because I went rifle squad. So when you pick Infantry Doctrine, you get a rifle squad. You get a bar automatically.
We're moving out.
So that is pretty effective, because that makes them early on able to really fight other troops really effectively, actually. And I thought how it was supposed to work is you had to unlock this ability first to give them the bar. But that is not the case. After it was like that in the beta, but it looks like now they're just getting it straight up. So once you do that, so infantry, you get an automatic bar.
Smell orders.
Then you can throw something else on, throw another bar. I mean, you can really make your riflemen extremely deadly for infantry battalion or doctrine. Now that I have that,
All right, you dopes, listen up.
let me do this.
Grenades on my target. Grenade! Okay, move it along. We're on the hook
God
over
bless it,
here.
it didn't hurt him. Alright, I'm going to build another set of infantry. Oh, you'll also notice now you get a 30 cal. Instead of just having the 50 cal, you also get a 30 cal squad added to your headquarters, which is only for the Infantry Doctrine. Now you see these guys building, not building like overly
You got a rifle
fast.
squad waiting for orders.
Form up.
Where are they at
Get
here?
that LMG into the center. I don't want to lose it. Moving out.
They
Let's
come
go.
with an LMG. Come on, guys, let's go. Grenade these
Pop
mothers
frags
before
on.
they have a chance to
Grenade, move! Crowd's taking pop
heal
shots
themselves.
now.
Now, if you look, I'm going to reinforce. Standard reinforce. Nothing overly fast, right? Now, these two guys were built.
To the middle of the squad. Reinforcements
These
in.
guys were built
Welcome to the
before
Death Factory, boys.
picking
Stick
this.
with me and you might
Now, when I pick this, what it's going to do is it makes your guys reinforce extremely fast and build extremely fast. I'm going to build a set of riflemen here. And you can see how fast they're kicking it out.
Where the hell is that bar? Get it up here. Let's move.
Rifle squad ready for action.
See, it's in already.
Form,
Now-
Browning, bring up the rear. Okay, that does it. Stick to that.
I'm going to attack round
Snap
with
to
this.
it.
And I want to show you how different it is.
Jake, get that LMG up front and center.
So when these guys, because they were built after that ability,
Pop frags on him. Grenade! Knock it off and listen up. Take it fire!
okay, so they lost one. Now I'm going to reinforce
Enemies
them.
are swarming one of our emplacements.
And you can see how fast they reinforce too.
Gather round.
Now
Smell orders.
let's
Pop frags on
hit a guy that was before.
Where the hell is that bar? Pinned down!
Now let's reinforce him. Actually, he's reinforcing fast too. Okay, so they changed that.
Squad, get moving!
They changed that. Before,
Steady up.
they were reinforcing slowly if they were built beforehand.
Grenades on my
So they,
target.
now it looks like all riflemen will reinforce quickly, and that's better.
Down!
We've lost a fighting position.
Oh wow, I killed a fighting position with that grenade. How cool. Oh shit, I killed the whole squad.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Anyway, so there we go. So the riflemen, as you can see, are very deadly. You get an automatic bar, a free bar.
Incoming mortars! Set.
Oh shit, mortars.
Snap to
Get
it.
out of there.
Go. Displace for fuck's sake. Move, move, move.
Exit the tank.
Here it comes.
Oh shit, get in there. Come on, idiot.
Jump in! Floor it!
Set. Get it going. Move.
Close it up. Keep on. Can't afford to lose any. Incoming orders!
This
Ready.
guy
Go
can't
ahead.
see that.
Snap to it. Go. Give it all she's got. Go, go, go. Hurry. Get it done. Get us out of here. Go, goddammit, go. Armor ready. Go. Get out of their strike zone. Set. Over. Good shot. That got him. Get us the fuck out of here.
Gotta get rid of these mortars.
Ready. Go, go, go. Go. Floor it.
Yeah, we have to There we go. No, we don't need it. Let's just have these guys fix it.
Prepare anything critical!
Keep these guys here. Sorry about that. Alright. So now we know with these two abilities we can build Riflemen very fast. You pick Rifle Doc, you're getting a free bar, which again helps a lot early on because most troops early on don't have much of anything. So American Riflemen are already pretty decent and you can put a lot on them. Now you're basically can, you know, make them really powerful, and it's nice to get that early bar. Plus they reinforce quickly, and now this reinforce ability here that I unlocked, what I'm going to show is I was gonna do something else with them, but we're gonna do this. I'm gonna hit this ability, and what happens is for 120 seconds, so 2 minutes, you can get them replaced. If you lose an infantry squad, it'll be replaced. Now this also covers
You got a rifle squad.
HMG squads. Now look, see how it said rifle?
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
So if you look, they're being replaced. Now this also affects HMG teams. If they get killed, you don't get the HMG team back, but you will get, you know, a count as 3 or 4 units toward a replacement. At least, and you can see that this guy counts as 3 toward a replacement. The captain does. You see that little symbol over his head. And you click it. Yeah, I can't really see. It's a little spinning thing. So it's actually really effective. It's nice. So if you mob up infantry, you can do that. Now you do have to, of course, put all your stuff back on them, which is not cheap, but it's something you can do. But we're going to look at something else with that as well. Alright, so we're getting kind of a basic idea here. The Riflemen troop themselves, very effective.
Crew ready. Let's get to it.
Let's take this bulldozer Sherman out of here. We're going to just go kill that mortar. It'll annoy the shit out of me.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements. Yeah, that wiped them. Enemy infantry.
Oh shit.
Ode armor piercing. We're taking fire. Firing.
Oh boy. Now this guy's trapped.
Switch to AG.
AG should kill it now.
On. Firing.
Really? Oh boy, this could hurt. You better do it quick. Let's try to save this Sherman squad.
A medium tank was just
Well, I didn't get the mortar team. They ran away. Not what I was hoping for. But hey, there you go. Right. Alright. So, and the last thing you have in the infantry thing here, because really who cares if they come in a little bit, is this. And what this does is you can do a battlefield commission and add a second lieutenant to a rifleman squad, making them even more powerful. I am going to have to do something about this. Just hide in the grass, buddy. So, let's find our captain. Ironically, there's some rifles you see here, and it costs 80, so it's not cheap. So boom, now you look, they have the little emblem, they have a second lieutenant, so it makes them more effective. Now you've also added to this rifle squad, you have added that second lieutenant who has a Thompson, if I can find him. But yeah, there he is. So he's got a Thompson now. So even makes them more effective. Yeah. So again, you really you can go this infantry track. Now you don't even have to. If you're not really planning on building a bunch of riflemen, which I don't see why you wouldn't want to, because honestly, it's pretty cool to have, especially with the replacements and everything else. But that's really the infantry track if you wanted to mess with riflemen. Now, as far as armor goes, and I guess we'll go back and look at these buildings now that we've done this. So we looked, we got an extra, we had the 30 cal now added to the main headquarters. The second building you typically put up is the platoon command post. And if you look, you can no longer, you had, you know, anti-tank squad here. But it's limited to 2 of them. You have some, you notice there's a bunch of stuff that's blacked out you can't get to. You can build a mortar team, and the captain of course is already built, and you can still build tank gun. So I'm gonna get a mortar team and just go punish these guys real quick. As far as the company command post, all of this, once it's unlocked, nothing changes with this doctrine. There is nothing special. You get your Stewart, you get a utility car, you get a Greyhound, your ambulance, regular half-track, which you can reinforce from, and with American doctrines, it's kind of unique.
We lost an infantry unit.
I'll build one.
They got wiped out.
You can use them as repair stations too. So you have a mortar half-track, which I'll build one, and you get your half-track. Or your anti-air half-track. See, these guys are deadly. And as you can see, they chopped up or chewed up whoever was in here, which was the engineers, I believe.
Half track, just arrived.
Shit, don't let him kill him.
That's enough! Squad, run, god dang it!
I'm gonna put a 50 cal right here as well.
Don't let up! Don't let up! Stay low!
Alright. So, here you have a standard American half-track. You can do this area repair
Half-track
upgrade.
is ready for orders.
And we're going to bring it out here, and you'll see what it does.
Lock the gun down for move. Mobile repair team, ready to deploy.
Build complete! Find cover!
See, it has the little emblem there with the little wrench. Let's take these guys, these upgraded guys over here to help fight troops. There's this fighting position, and we're going to go ahead and put a 50 cal on it. That should help.
One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire.
Spread. Excuse me. There you go. So that'll help take out these clowns.
Our fighting position now has some ordnance behind it.
Mortar is still a pain in the ass, so let's get this mortar team here.
Crowd infantry neutralized.
And what we're going to do is bring it up.
God damn it. Tube's still hot. Incoming! Grab dirt! Steady up, fellas.
All right, by the book.
Get these guys repaired. So, everybody can build this. The only difference is with these light vehicles, and I just messaged them about this yesterday, yesterday, and got a response today. They're looking to maybe change some of this up. You notice no one has the Scott Howitzer, which is a unit that is in the game. Now, if you go armor doctrine, you'll get an M20 command car, which is basically the scout car with a bunch of abilities. But it's really the only real difference that light vehicles. So all the American doctrines have pretty much the same light vehicles. Mortar half-track up. Now this is that normal half-track I built. You can convert it into a repair station. But you see, it's cool. They, put up like the tarps and make it like a repair station, so it will repair damaged units. Because you can't build mobile repair stations with it, with the Americans. Alright, so we've looked at that. Now let's look at the heavy depot here. The heavy depot, you could start off, all you can build is a Sherman M4A3, which is a great tank. You know, whatever. It's great for up close with armor piercing. It can hurt pretty much anything if you get it in the ass or, you know, in the side. It's not really good for fighting tanks. Really much better for fighting, you know, positions and infantry. So I'm not even going to mess with it right now. You can't build anything else yet because we haven't looked at the armor track. So we're going to go to the armor track next. And the first thing is 76er. So bing, now I can build a 76er. The next cool thing is the 634th Tank Destroyer Battalion Dispatch. So he calls in a 50 cal Dodge truck and 2 M10 Wolverines from the 634th Tank Destroyer Battalion. So this is cool because I have maxed out Wolverine. I can't build Wolverines. Once I actually see, I built those Wolverines before I picked the doctrine. And normally you're not going to wait to pick a doctrine. You're going to pick a doctrine right away, or at least kind of soon once you kind of see what you're up against. I did, so this is why I have Wolverines everywhere. But once you pick infantry, you lose the ability to build them. You can only build the 76er, the M4A3, and the 105. But so this is a call-in. And if you've played Blitzkrieg mod for Company of Heroes 1, or if you've played Europe at War mod...
We just lost a unit!
Damn it. Or Europe at War mod, then you know that call-ins are very cool, right? So you can get some really neat call-ins with them. And specifically, one thing that... Nice precision barrage. These guys... is... Europe at War mod was big on doing call-ins that were basically battle groups or something of the sort. So instead of just calling in a specific, you know, a single unit, you could call in like a battle group, you know. So, and there's the historical call-in, which is really cool. So then you go and you just, it's 25 manpower. Boy, I'm going to have to watch my to call them in, and it's $9.50, so it's expensive. So, but let's call them in. What the hell, right? I can always use more tank destroyers. And we'll just call them in here. There's no build time. They just come in off, you know, from off screen. There they are. They're not vets or anything. You know, nothing special about them. But because you cannot build Wolverines with this doctrine, that's how you get your 2 Wolverines, basically. That's what you're doing. Again, I just have them because I didn't pick a doc. And I was able to build them. So, real quick, I'm gonna build a pit here because that will allow me to put this mortar team in here and protect it.
Back to full strength.
Crank it up.
Okay, so there you have that. So here are these extra Wolverines. Oh, you know what I don't want them to do is blow this entire base up.
Tube ready.
And I'm beginning to wonder if they're going to. So let's take this mortar half-track back.
We're ready to go.
And hold fire. Put these guys in their little pit here, which I really like that you can do that.
Can be dispatched.
If I build a Sherman, this is a Sherman tank crew.
Watch your spacing. Follow me.
So you cannot have them hold fire from in the pit.
Get out, warm up, and
Get them out. And last thing I would want is that I blow up this base, and then before I get to show you all the stuff.
get us out of here. Break it down. Secure the rounds. Grab the bipod. Let's go.
Fire. Okay, so we called in our tank destroyers. Where did I put them?
Armor here. Incoming.
Put another one
Location
there.
locked. Move us out.
Leave this
Good to go.
Jeep fire support.
Lock her down. Here it comes.
Move this tank destroyer here. So now Tigers should be in pretty deep trouble if they try coming in here.
Orders.
And I'll sneak these guys up here in camouflage mode. There we go. So yay, all good stuff, right? Nice and fun. So, going back to the armor track. Next you have the M4A3 So, this is your arty piece. And if you know about the 105, if you ever used them in other mods or another game, or in the vanilla, I believe they had it too. It is basically a howitzer, but it's also
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
amazing against, like, up close if you're using it against infantry or if you're using it against emplacements. You know, it's so it's a pretty handy piece, but it is their only arty piece. This doctrine does not have anything really in the way of arty, except for this 105, which you used to be able to build one. You still may only be able to build one. We're going to find out actually right now. Yep, limit of 1. So that's your arty. Now, again, the way that I'm using this right now is very combined arms, but you can really just focus on a lot of riflemen and maybe throw in a tank or two, or maybe just throw in the tank destroyers, and it can be effective. I've used it in many different ways now.
Crew ready.
So here's your 105. Put a bulldozer on it. You can fire a heat round with it. When you fire the heat round, you know, it's obviously it can do some major damage to the tank. You gotta love these Wikinger historical skins. Very cool. What is this one called? The rat poison? So whatever. But at any rate, this is your arty. It's a 105 barrage. You can see it's got pretty decent range. It's 5 shots, very inaccurate. I mean, as far as arty goes, it's probably like some of the weakest in Wikinger mod, if not like the weakest. But it is mobile, and it's. Hey, here's the first shot. I aimed right here, right? Yeah, you can see. So oh shit, it's not the greatest arty. It will scare troops off, I guess, or if you get lucky with it, it can do some major damage, but. And you can fire smoke, so. No, you can't fire it. Oh, you can. You can fire smoke for anyone, so you can give smoke screens.
Let's get to it.
So, there we have it. So there's that. And, oh, I guess you can't fire from far range, though.
Crew ready.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. It's a personal smoke
Discharge
screen,
smoke.
basically. Or if it's to cover troops if you're advancing with them. Alright, that's it. That's the armor you can build. Now, you'll notice you have something else in the armor track, though. It's the 83rd Infantry Ragtag Circus. You could request support from elements of the 83rd Infantry Division, the Ragtag Circus, and if they have cool historical pictures of this, and again, this is a historically based mod. These guys they basically commandeered vehicles from the Germans, and they had some of their own stuff, and they just painted it all ridiculous by hand, and it was like a ragtag group of vehicles. So we'll go ahead and get that, and that's 4 command points. So, you know, early on, yeah, you can get your 76er right away if you need it, which you really don't usually need early game. Get your tank destroyers relatively quickly, but you know, you've got to decide, you know, what you're gonna do. What are you gonna do here? Because the infantry track, as you can see, it's 1 and 1. It's very quick to start working the infantry track. But you want to call in the ragtag, but we cannot because we need the upgrade, heavy ordnance. So you might be wondering, why do I have this? Well, the heavy ordnance upgrade is how, once you have that, you can call in ragtag. So while we're waiting for that, because it takes a bit, we have 2 more tracks. We have the Ranger track, and we have the, I guess, munitions track, we'll call it. One thing that these guys can do is build the goon gun. The 107mm mortar. So let's unlock that. And what that does is lets you build a mortar pit. Now, I'm going to build this far away because in the beta, the hold fire was... Where's my engineer here? In the beta, the hold fire didn't work very well. And
One of our fighting positions is sustaining
It's 480, by the way. And 80 munitions. Takes up 20 command points. I'm going to build it way back here. But yeah, it didn't hold fire very well. So what was happening was, like, if I were doing this and I built it here, I couldn't hold fire. I'd have to go blow it up with grenades or something because it,
We've lost a fighting position.
Oh! Because, yeah, it just wouldn't be good. They'd blow the base up. I'm actually scared to run this up here and take out this mortar team because I have a feeling if I do, the 105 might blow up what's left of their base.
Move out. Boyd, secure the ammo so we
Alright,
can
I'm going
get
to
out
start
of here.
to need to free up some space too. So let's take the captain. And what we're going to do, we're going to use the withdraw unit. See you later, guys. And once they get off the screen, you'll get your money back. Get rid of one of these anti-tank squads. You cannot, unfortunately, withdraw tanks. That's something, the refuel and refit is only for the armor dock. So, what else can I get rid of here? Alright, let's get rid of this guy.
Warning orders.
And he's got to be near him to do it.
He's losing. We can't get distracted.
Sprint over there. There you go.
You got your orders.
It's... I don't know, I don't want to supervise. Supervise, if I'm building something. In fact, I could be supervising at the base right now and making that upgrade go much faster, but it's already done. Let's free up a little more room while I'm here. We don't need the mortar team anymore. See you later, guys. And one thing you'll notice is, and you probably didn't get to notice that, what they've done too is now all your weapons teams can sprint. So you have a short and your AT guns. Now if you've played Spearhead, you know that was something you could do with all of your units. You could sprint them. In fact, let's just pull these guys out. I don't even need them anymore anyway. Even though they're level 2, you can see now you have rapid movement. It doesn't last very long. It's very short. And then they go into exhaustion phase. So, but we'll bring them over here and get rid of them too so I can free up more space. So, ragtag, you can see it's ready to be called in. So let's call this thing in. One of the really neat things about ragtag, Circus,
We have an
is you
M3
don't know what
carrying
you're going to
assault
get.
engineers on the way.
It's random. You get between a few different types of units. Now you always get the American Jeep,
Waiting orders.
which always comes with it. If you look here, you've got a German half-track,
Send orders. Secure the
painted
ammo.
with American green, and it says Berlin or bust on the side. You know, it's got American camo. Like, oh, the whole thing's not even painted. It's just, you know, partially painted. So it's pretty cool. And then inside you have a set of, you know, veteran riflemen. I don't know what they have on them. Let's take a quick look. And you'll notice here, which I have seen a Panther, I've seen other stuff too. You have a haphazardly painted Panzer IV,
Armor ready.
captured medium tank. Very cool. It's like it only has like half the shield here. The shield is not the full like shield. It's all scarred up. Next stop Berlin. I mean, it is. I don't know, man. This is just kick-ass. Let's see what the gun barrel says. Payback. Yeah, I mean, it's
Crew, displays.
so cool. I
Drive
think
her over to that
one of the
location.
guys, Starbuck maybe does the skins. So this must be the historical emblem for this 83rd Infantry Battalion. It looks like, oh yeah, they're loaded. They've got a bazooka, a couple of M1 Grands, and a bar. So bazooka and a bar and some M1 Grands. So they're, you know, definitely a cool thing. But so you have the Panzer IV.
Driver, move out.
Very cool. That's the ragtag circus.
Take it out. All right, you dopes, listen up. Stow those damn rounds and get this thing moving. Let's move out of here. Good fucking hit.
Yeah, you haven't that many Wolverines, man.
Listen up, fall back, fall back. Target
Square
destroyed.
yourself and stay together.
Let's put this.
Just remember to keep
Taking hits.
no matter what. Go, go, go!
Let's get rid of these. Where did I do it? Oh, I retreated my captain.
Taking fire.
So, all right.
Send your orders.
There you have it. Ragtag circus. I'm gonna run this in and let it get killed.
Let's get this show on the road. Armor ready.
5 is here. I do not want to
Stow
fire.
those damn rounds and get this thing moving.
We're gonna run these jeeps in here and let them get killed.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out. Contact! German infantry! Armor ready. Displays. Get us over to that location.
Yeah, I'm.
Keep guns on our flank!
Shit. Okay, good. AT
Wait,
guns.
this is it.
Gonna bring in one of these M10s. Let it get blown up.
Taking flanking fire! We're on fire! Light vehicle just
Whoa,
got
whoa,
destroyed.
whoa, whoa! I didn't want the 105 to come in here.
Drive,
Can't make it hold fire either.
Go! Get out of their strike zone!
Yeah.
Good fucking hit! Displays for fuck's
Come on,
sake!
kill it! Oh my god, I can't give you any more time to shoot it with your AT gun. Let's go.
Drive! Get us the hell out of here!
Alright, just do some.
Smoke free! Target destroyed! Shit it moving!
There we go. That should keep
Get us the fuck out of here!
I don't know why that thing showed up.
Hit it! Go! Go! Go!
I would like to kill it actually because it's taking up space. And I want these guys to kill this thing.
Ready, set.
I guess what I'm gonna have to do is arty my own stuff.
Make sure
Oh,
it
I
ain't
thought I
locked and
clicked on this
loyal
Jeep.
this
That's
time.
why I grabbed that
Crew
instead.
ready.
I wonder if I could do a tack round at the Jeep.
Fire main gun.
Certainly can.
Stow
All right,
those
so we're gonna
damn
kill our
rounds
own
and get this thing
stuff.
moving. Displays. Drive her over to that location. They're flanking us. Infantry, get over the MG. What the
God, now you saw what that did to a Panzer IV. That wasn't even a heat round. It's a big gun, man. I hate to kill the
Send your
Panzer
orders.
IV, but hey.
There they are. Cover
In
the flank.
fact, I wasn't even aiming for it.
On. Firing. Swing the gun. They're on the flank. Light vehicle just got destroyed. German infantry, cut them down.
Oh my god. Come on, man. There we go.
A medium tank
I mean, I
was
really
just
need to
lost.
free up some space, man.
Armor ready.
I have no command points. I should have
Clear
put on
free block.
999.
Firing.
That was a bad shot.
Crew ready. God damn it! Enemy
Alright,
armor!
let's do heat.
Crowd infantry!
Won't let me do heat on my own guys.
Or run! Get over there!
So but at any rate, you see how
Armor
cool the
heat
ragtag
location marked.
circus is.
Move us
I mean, it is a really cool,
Firing.
really cool thing. I'll let them beat up on each other. Beat it up for a while. So there you go. There's your armor building. As I said, there's nothing different in the light stuff. Whoa, we built the mortar. Let's go take a look at that. The mortar. Where are you at? And where is my captain? Let's do this. I forgot that was a retreat point. First,
We
let's
just lost a
get rid
medium
of you.
tank.
Squad on your feet!
Let's get rid of you.
Enemy infantry taken out.
Listen
Give me
up.
back some points. Down to 195. All right.
Get out. Patrol formation. Square the troops away. We're moving.
So, we've seen what everything you can build out of all these buildings, except for one. But we were supposed to be looking at the mortar pit, which, where in the hell is it? Let's see. Double click. There you have it, mortar pit. Yes, it's got like a British RAF emblem on it. They said they can't get rid of that. They tried, so. This is a 107 mortar pit. And you can self-destruct it. You can give smoke barrage, and you can see how far this thing shoots. So if you get this even anywhere even near their base, it will tear it to shreds. Which is why I didn't want to build it close to the base. And it does a lot of damage. It's a 107mm pit, so it will destroy some stuff. It is very deadly. It has a white phosphorus barrage as well. I'd like to, I guess I can show you that. Let's stop that. There is a pretty long cooldown. You know, not too long. I don't need this anti-air anymore either. So I'm gonna go have my M105 shoot at it.
Roll us out. Gear up and move out.
There, it likes to shoot there. Let's move it there. Let's move the repair truck over there. Showed you how cool that is.
Get her moving. Let's go.
And let's keep looking down the line here. So we see the mortar pit. What's this? This is new. This is call in 2 Dodge supply trucks loaded with 100 munitions each. So, this is a way to make it more realistic and cool. And this is something new. If we look at like how the airborne does it to get munitions, they get them dropped in, right? They get para dropped in. It costs fuel for munitions. In this, you don't really need a bunch of fuel, really much fuel at all for this doctrine, similar to airborne. So this is a way to convert fuel to munitions. So let's do it. We actually call them in.
Dispatching an M3 half-track to the battle.
In fact, I don't need this mortar half-track either anymore.
Send your orders.
What if I can just attack moving it? No, I'll let me do it.
Someone get us out of here. Fire main gun.
Come on, 105. Now, if you look, these are like 2 munitions trucks. How cool is that, right? These are your actual munitions. Now you can click on them.
Where do you want us? Get to it.
They drop the munitions and they leave. I mean, is that not kick-ass? Look at that. That's badass. Dude, I'm telling you, if you're not playing Wikinger, or if you're not curious about how all the cool crap it is, I don't know, man. But that is kick-ass. I don't think anyone can argue that. I mean, it's so cool, realistic, neat, just awesome job, guys. Let's get rid of that veteran crew.
Men are ready for action. I hear there's tigers out there. Watch for my hand signals.
I don't know, I don't want that.
Watch your spacing. Watch your sectors. Oh boy, those are the days. Men are ready for action.
And actually, I don't need this truck anymore either.
Lord, get us over
Send it over here to the death pit.
Let's move out of here.
Going to the death pit. And so I don't really need the munitions, but let's just make sure it's
Getting hit! Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
swarm away, buddy. Now, I am down to 1 of these. I am down to...
Light vehicle
Okay,
just got
so now that I've picked a doctrine, I can only build 2
Hey, listen up. Listen up.
anti-tank squads. And there's a reason for that, and I will point that out
one
here
of
in
our
a second.
fighting positions
I
is
just wanted to check
sustaining
it.
fire.
So yeah, now you can build 2 anti-tank
On your
squads.
feet, get moving. Fall back to the CP.
Which I really don't even need them.
All right, man.
But I wanted to test it. That was the whole point of it.
Square the troops away. We're moving.
Watch your spacing. Follow me.
So I'm going to leave them alive for now. But, so we've seen these cool abilities. And I think that cooldown's not
Enemies
too
are
bad. So,
swarming one of our
lastly in
emplacements.
this like munitions track, we have white phosphorus
M3 half tracks
ordnance.
bearing assault
Okay.
engineers can be
Now you're
dispatched.
gonna see. I don't know if this has it or nope, does not have it yet. And if you look at some riflemen, which wow, these guys are hurting. Because the mortar team,
Get to that point.
they don't have white phosphorus right now. So we're gonna unlock white phosphorus. The other thing it does, it gives it to vehicles. I don't know if the M105 gets it.
One of our fighting
Does
positions
not.
is sustaining
And
fire.
I don't, these tank destroyers don't get it. But your Shermans will actually get it. So let's unlock it. White phosphorus grenades. So now you have a white. Oh, let's just retreat him. Unpin you. It's getting annoying. So I'm gonna give them a white phosphorus barrage into the darkness.
Enemies are swarming one of our
Land on
emplacements.
it.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here! Krauts are dead!
Did they not fire it?
Nail them with
What the hell?
grenades!
Where's that coming from?
Damn it.
Stand ready! Fall back!
Aggravating as hell. I have to be so careful because I cannot blow up the base or that will be the end of it.
Use grenades!
And maybe even this is dangerous, I don't know.
Grab your shit and follow me.
There it goes.
Ground orders! Someone block
Burn.
the utility! Attack!
Yeah, they're gonna be burning. So, oh boy. What's that?
Incoming orders!
Panzer 1.
Send over.
See you later, Panzer 1. Oh!
We just lost a unit.
That's interesting. With these M10s, when they're in camouflage, man, they're pretty deadly. Alright, so we've looked at that. We have white phosphorus, very cool stuff. It burns like a mother. I'll just see some white phosphorus just to show you like what it does. I'll show you what it does to a house.
Fire mission. Multiple rounds AG. Charge 1. Will adjust.
I don't have very good vision there.
All right, men. Let's move out. Changing plans.
It burns hot, and it keeps burning for a while. I have not hit the house directly,
Hey, listen up. Listen up.
but you can see, house is burning now. This stuff does not play around. So you got some troop concentration. This thing shoots very far. You know, now you see it can't fire now, but alright, that costs a lot. It doesn't do anything else than what I've already shown you, so I'm going to self-destruct it.
One of our fighting positions is
This point's
sustaining
bad.
fire.
Alright. Everything's looking good. Now, this leaves the last track. And now, you notice that one of the buildings in the base, you could only build AT teams from. So you can have 4 total. So, you know, I guess you can always have 4 total. And 2, you saw it only let me build 2 from the forward base. You can build 2 from here. But that's it. You can do your tank gun, mortar team, you can get this captain. But everything else is based on this Ranger Battalion. So this costs 4, so it's not something you can get early, but you can actually start creating elite troops and get a second type of arty. So 2nd Ranger Battalion, got that unlocked. Now you can see, you no longer are building just standard anti-tank troops. Now you can build 2, it's the max of 2, so you can have 4 total anti-tank teams. These are Ranger anti-tank squads. You're going to see they're very different than a standard anti-tank squad. You can also build here. Let's pop on the screen here. Now you notice they have a cool 2nd Ranger Battalion emblem, cool historic stuff.
Enemies are
Put some health
swarming
pack
one of
on
our
them if you want.
emplacements.
But
Orders!
now that white phosphorus is open, they do have white phosphorus grenades, and you notice other anti-tank squads This goes, I think, pretty much across the board. They don't have grenade ability. Even though, like, the American anti-tank squad does have two, submachine guns in the squad, so it can kind of fight, troops. It's not that effective, really, overall, as far as fighting troops. These guys can throw regular grenades, white phosphorus grenades, and they are going to get grenade assault, too. These are actually more of a ranger team than just an anti-tank squad. And you notice they have one M1 Grand, they have 2 bazookas, actually they have 2 M1 Grands, 2 bazookas, and they have 1 Thompson. These guys are very effective, so they can fight troops like a regular, troop would do. They're super badass. Plus, they can do what an anti-tank squad can do. So these guys are elite, even though they're not coming in vet level. They're very effective. They're very powerful. And if you notice, so that can't even. Anti-tank squad has disappeared from here right now because. There we go. Got my 2 there.
One of our fighting
So what I'm
positions
gonna do,
is sustaining
just to see
fire.
how this works,
We're taking effective fire.
is I'm gonna use my captain, and I'm gonna send away one of the anti-tank squads.
Enemy armor.
Oh, I'll wait till he gets off the screen.
Hey, listen up. Square the
Because this
troops
might be
away.
something that
We're
is
moving.
kind of a bug,
On the move. Ready
maybe
gear.
not. Because I don't know that you were supposed to be able to build 4 anti-tank
Change plans.
squads. Possibly. But I noticed when I picked the Ranger Battalion, it disappeared as an option entirely. Which would prompt you to start building. Now granted, you cannot pick Ranger Battalion early on, even if you have Infantry Doctrine, because it's 4 command points to even open the Rangers. So yeah, once you pick Rangers, or open that up, you lose the ability to build these forward. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, if that's how they want it. I mean, these guys are super tough compared to a regular anti-tank squad anyway.
Hey, listen. All right, man.
So
Let's move out.
let's get rid of another one. Just test it. So, I mean, really, they're all you really would need. Plus, with America, like I said, you can upgrade most of your riflemen to have bazookas too.
Orders.
So anyway, you get 2 of these, maximum of 2 of these Ranger squads, these Ranger AT squads.
Stand by.
Again, they are far more effective than a standard. They're a group of Rangers. They're far more effective than a group of just the regular AT guys. And maybe that's why they don't want you to have 2 of those and then have 2 of the other ones as well. So anyway, we looked at that. Another unit in here that is new into the Ranger squad, once you unlock it, is this U.S. Ranger Scout Patrol. And what this is, it is a Scout Patrol. So it's going to be a 2-man team, spotter team. I'm actually interested to see if they've changed them at all.
Unit ready for action.
Hey, listen up. Listen up.
Nope. So they can go health pack. These guys have binoculars. They can go evasive action. They are considered Rangers. I doubt they're very tough. They can pick up weapons. But the whole point of these guys is to see. Oh boy.
Get that 3-inch ready.
Let's see. They're trying to take down my house.
Crew ready. Stow those damn rounds and get this thing moving.
Watch your spacing. Follow me.
I can maybe give you an idea of how these Ranger squads, how badass they are.
We're on the move. Grab your gear.
Send your orders.
I can't just...
Clear breach block. Firing.
I think it's interesting that they're not just rebuilding their base. They're too busy
onto 'em.
rebuilding a Panzer F1. Oh, that's a horrible shot.
Let's go. Get us over to that new position.
You gotta be careful with these bazooka teams.
German infantry.
They can
Cut 'em
take a
down.
building down very quickly.
Armor ready. Bring it around. Hit that AT infantry.
Oh, bad miss.
Get up! We lost the main gun.
using that.
We just lost a medium tank.
These guys are in trouble. You can see they're still surviving, even though they're being shot at. Oh, I gotta go. Let's get
Enemies
out
are swarming.
I mean, obviously, it's not what you do with them. I was just, and they will become more powerful. You will see. So here's this camouflage squad. You can do evasive action and go like complete sneak mode. I can sneak right up in front of them, and they wouldn't even see. But they have very good vision. And I'm going to put the binoculars on now. And you're going to see how far we can see here.
Promotion in.
And you can see that. See how far they can see? They're a really cool piece. Let's see if they still move. They do. Now, I don't think they're supposed to move. I guess they're the only ones that I am aware of that when you try to face them actually move around when they have the binoculars on. I thought they were correcting that. That might not be the case. So you can see the binoculars can see really far. There is some smoke obscuring it. So that's what they do. And they will come in handy for other things that we'll show you in a second here. So, let's go back here. So we've seen the anti-tank squad. I'll build an all. You can build up to 2 of these scout patrols. The other ranger, because this is not a ranger mortar team, it's a standard. So the other ranger you have here is the ranger command squad, which I will build now. And you can build the sniper, but I will try to build that next. So we already saw what the ranger AT squad did. Unfortunately,
got a new unit ready and on the field
properly. It can fight troops on its own, but it's not like something you're going to want to. They're hitting me with the little 45. That's why it bounced.
You've got a captain hitting the field.
Orders.
All right.
One, on your feet. I got orders, boys.
Fix this.
All right.
Jump to it.
Under fire.
Ready, set, snap to it, go. Engage that crowd position.
I was interested to learn, looking through documentaries and historical information on these American units and other units, that a lot of these American, like these American tank destroyers, these particular ones, the Wolverines, they had a hand traverse turret. Pretty interesting. So it was slow, meant for
We're on the move. Grab your gear.
you know, sneak attacks. What are these guys? Okay, so I just built another vision squad basically to see how many you can build. So you can have 2. So that's how it normally is with the Rangers. I've noticed is 2 of a type. I'm gonna see if these can use their binoculars from the building. All right, so the other squad that I unlocked was the Ranger Command Squad. So now you have technically 2 officer squads, and I'm guessing this is based on like the old, you know, regular captain squad. But it comes with, as you can see, a couple of Thompsons, bazooka, well, a bunch of Thompsons, and a bazooka. So obviously this is good against infantry. You can actually fight tanks. 1 bazooka is usually not too great against, you know, heavy tanks at all, unless you get it in the ass, and even then it's not going to kill it. But so it's a command squad. It's going to give bonuses and buffs. You can't do that recall or, you know, send away, withdraw thing like the other captain can do. That's pretty much his function. You could do on me, which is breaks suppression and has everybody rally to him. He has the white phosphorus grenades. He does have the M2 frag. There is this grenade assault, and he's going to get an off-map artillery. So lastly in here, before we continue on with that particular character, we're gonna look at the U.S. Ranger Sniper, which I love sniper pieces. Some of the German doctrines can build more than one. You know, I think they're amazing pieces. For something like this, Sniper would have fixed this problem a long time ago. You know, in actuality. I mean, it would have been the end of it.
Pathfinders reporting in.
So,
Warning orders, men.
this guy, he only has a 2-time scope, I believe. Yeah, 2.2, so... unlike some of the other
Go. Put some beef into it.
some of the other countries' snipers, they can get a bunch of different upgrades, you know, in this mod. You know, it's like, what is like a 7-time scope or some crazy thing, and they can see from far away. They can go evasive. I could literally creep him right into the base, which again, this is unique to Wikinger, and it was something that, you know, Blitzkrieg did. And that's why this has specific spotting pieces. So if you look here, like obviously the scout patrol is a spotting piece. It can see stealthed units. But here you have this M20 Utility Car, which some people might build, it might not. But what it does is it's going to see when you have camouflaged pieces within its range. So if you have a camouflage AT gun here, having that scout car is going to see it, because it has a little eyeball to show vision. If you look here, it's got the mortar to show mortar. Here you have the little anti-air wings thing to show it's anti-air. Here you have health to show. So you can quickly reference what the piece does without, you know, clicking on it. So the sniper, we'll get him up here. Have him start picking these clowns off. You should be able to see him from here. You can see his, even at 2.2 zoom, he's still got a pretty decent area of attack. So hurry up and get him there. He's exhausted. But you've all seen how a sniper works.
A medium tank was just lost. Veteran C promotion.
Alright, so he's not going to fire. He's just going to look until I give him the scope. Once I give him the scope, which 2 times is not enough to get in there and hit this stuff.
Send over. Snap to it. Go. Engage armor.
Shit, hit him quick.
More speed, goddammit. Enemy neutralized.
Done. Done.
Infantry neutralized. Tank go. Floor it.
Sure, I don't get hit by hitting the tank.
Hurry, get it done.
Sniper cannot reach. Boo. Now the sniper, when he puts his scope on, he can't, it's not like binoculars. He can only see to where the end of that red thing is. But he can see farther now because we have other pieces. So I'm going to put him in evasive action, take his scope off. I'm going to sneak him up here to get him in range so he can start shooting back. Screw evasive action, just get out there. Hit him. So not hitting that team there.
Get ready for action.
See, it still shows him as sprinting even though he's not, so he cannot shoot, move, and fire.
Fall in. Move.
So see how he can't move when he's in scope? That's how other binocular pieces are, so I'm not sure why this particular binocular piece for the Rangers can still move around while they're in scope. But now he can hit these guys. And first things first, let's clean up this damn gun, 'cause it's aggravating. There you go, thank you. Oh good, let's see if we can clean out this. There you go. And you notice it suppresses them, and it will hit troops too. He's just picking them off. There we go. Come on, sniper. Pick these clowns off before they take down my house. Boom. See, I wish you could build 2. I love snipers.
Enemies are swarming.
Anyway.
One of our emplacements.
And he stays hidden, so like in Spearhead mod, for example, the snipers don't even cloak. They should be able to. You know, that's what spotter pieces is for. So, I mean, there is no mod out there, as far as I'm concerned, that is even nearly as cool or as good or even close to as tactical with how you use the pieces, how you go about unlocking your actual abilities.
Incoming mortars!
Mortars again, huh? Oh. Yeah.
Ready, set.
Once I got rid of that,
Hit that crowd position.
shit, I should have done HP.
High velocity aim, target that armor.
Damn. Okay.
Snap to it, go!
Sniper, you gotta work quicker, bud.
Pick it up. Good hit. Armor down.
Now take this thing out.
Bastards have it. Okay. They're all dead.
There we go. Nice.
Infantry neutralized.
Smoke is obscuring my vision.
Listen up. Move out. Go. We're on the move. Grab your gear.
It's right over there.
Lock
This
her
thing
down.
up a bit so
Crew,
these
get on
tanks
it.
don't get any more funny
Get your heads
ideas. Now, so we've looked at all the Ranger pieces, right? Wrong, because there's 2 more to unlock. Let's start with this one first. This is a demo squad. He's their flame unit. So again, there's no flame unit, you know, engineer anymore. This guy can dynamite. It says he can be upgraded to use dynamite charges. I don't think that exists anymore. They got rid of that, but it's still in description, obviously. They'll probably just taking that out shortly.
Vehicle ready. Jump to it. Looks like we're going in. Pick a man and drop him.
Alright, I know you don't want to see me pick it off people with a sniper, but I just want them to blow the house up for some ridiculous reason, because it doesn't really matter if I just do another one. So, let's take a look.
Troop concentration. They got it. One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire.
I thought I unlocked them. I guess I did not. I just clicked on them to look. There we go. Now I have them. So let's see how many we can build. At first you could build 2, then they put it to 1. Okay, you can only build 1. So these Rangers, aside from the AT squad, because some base, let's also look at this. Some maps don't have houses, forward houses, or to make forward bases that you can build an extra set of anti-tank squads out of. You know, and that's something else. These Rangers are very
Enemies
important.
are swarming one of our emplacements.
Hey, listen up. All right, man.
Now these guys, they have a flamethrower. You can put a bazooka on them
Listen up.
and a med kit.
Those are crowd
So now they automatically have the pole charges. They're just an explosive. You lay them down. It's similar to, here, I'll just throw one down. Show you what it does. But,
Men are ready for action.
so there you have it. They're a pretty deadly troop. They're an elite. They don't come out with any veterancy level, but they are elite. They have, M1s. They have some, so they can fight at
One
a
of our fighting
distance. They
positions
also,
is
I
sustaining
believe,
fire.
yeah, it's Thompson's as well. But the flamethrower, that didn't do a whole bunch, but it caught it on fire. So,
Watch your spacing. Follow
yeah,
me.
there you have it. They get the white phosphorus. They can throw satchels. You know, they're a demo squad. They're just made to blow stuff up, but they can fight, and they can fight tanks.
Point man out.
They have a bazooka too, because you just put one on it.
Incoming fire.
And they're gonna get grenade volley
We're on the move.
and glorious charge. I call it glorious charge by mistake, but it's actually not glorious charge. It is this. Well, a lot of it. So, all right. So just continuing down that track while we're at it, you get the Xylophone Artillery. Now, one thing you'll notice about Wikinger as compared to Spearhead or Vanilla or any of the others, you'll see they always have a bunch of like artillery strikes and crap from off map. Now some doctrines do have that, and they are making an arty doctrine for this at some point for the Americans, and there is an arty doctrine already, which I have a video up for the Oberkommando West. But they don't have a bunch of off-screen stuff that you just click it and drop it. The way they do it is, as you can see, Xylophone Artillery, off-map. By the way, let's start here. It goes, that's what you need the command squad for. So first off, you need a piece typically to be able to use it. So you don't see a bunch of artying and all the rubbish you see in other mods, back and forth artying. You don't also see, you don't get any indication of where the arty's dropping. You will hear noise in the background, and you know arty's coming. If a plane's coming, you'll hear people yell out, oh, you know, Luftwaffe, or you might hear the Germans yell out, you know, American airstrike. You don't know where it's coming. You have to think, okay, what would they want gone? What can they see? Because you remember, you can use creeping around to see things in this mod. Okay, they cannot use the binoculars from in that house, so you know, you don't know exactly what the deal is, and just it's much more tactical, much more realistic, very cool. So the Xylophone Artillery, you can call it in anywhere that you have vision, except for in a base. The only arty they can hit the base with, besides the mortar pits or mortars, is that 105. That 105 howitzer, but it's so ridiculously inaccurate, and you get 5 shots. It doesn't really do a whole lot. But you can see, I can call this in here. Now it is red, because if you look, you have to be, well, it's still red here. The point is, you can only call it in within the range of the piece. So there's nothing over here. Oh, I have no vision. Now you see, there's a circle of how far from the piece it can be, but I can't see here. I can see here, but he can't shoot from there because he's not, so he has to run up to do it. But we'll just do it anyway. So he's going to move up. It says targeting battlefield, estimating range, radioing coordinates. I mean, that's just cool. And now if you're on the other end, you just hear that choo 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 choo. That's it. You don't, just nothing showing where it's going to drop. And that's the Xylophone Artillery. And you cannot use it in their base. So people that bitch about, oh, you know, we're gentlemanly, we don't arty each other's bases and stuff. I say if the arty can get in the base to use it, why not? Hell yeah, I'll arty your base. Why wouldn't I? If I'm artying your base, you need to send some out to take out my arty. I mean, that's the way it works in my book. So why have it if you can't use it? But Wikinger eliminated that, at least with any of the powerful arties, or any of the airstrikes. You can't use them in the headquarters area. So there you go. Because I would love to arty this right now. Although I wouldn't, because it would kill the thing and then it'd be the end of it. So, there you go. So there's the Ranger Command Squad. Here's the Flame Squad to get one of these. You don't get very many Rangers as a whole. You know, only the 2 spotters. You get 2 spotters and 2 AT squad. So, there, we've built all the Rangers that are available, right? Wrong. One more. And this is the deadliest of them all. This is the U.S. Ranger Assault Team. These are the battle-hardened veterans of D-Day. Best of the best. Now, these guys are a call-in from the top here, you see. You cannot put them, I thought, because it was one of these kind of call-ins, like where you click it and bring it in, that it would pop up in a building. But they're not an infiltration squad, they're an assault squad. So, you see they come in Vet 1 already. So wherever you click it is where they're going to go to, but there's no build time, which is cool. So you see they all are just loaded up with Thompsons. There's no upgrades for them. They automatically will heal. They also have bazookas, but they're carrying it like on their back or whatever. Like they pull it out to fire it. They have a bazooka. They might have 2. I think it's only 1 though. But they're just super effective. They're definitely an elite troop. They're not quite as effective as like the, you know, this German stormtrooper with the 2 canoe paddles over their head or 2 grenade bundles over their head that you see that they were building earlier. Those guys are like the deadliest of the deadly, or some of the deadliest. And these guys are much better at close range. So, because of their short range weapons. But they are very deadly. They will go into cloak. They could do smoke grenades for concealment, like for charging things. They have like phosphorus, regular grenades. They can do evasive action. And again, this mod takes advantage of these kind of things, which is awesome. So they can creep invisibly They're invisible. They'll creep all the way into their base if you want, as long as there's no spotter piece or you don't get close enough to a unit. But these guys are badass. You can only build one at a time. Even when this cooldown's done, that's it. So those are your various rangers. And I say these assault team are the baddest of the bad when it comes to the rangers. They are very deadly. The flamethrower squad is very deadly too, don't get me wrong. You can't do evasive action with them though, so you can't get in as close typically. But that flamethrower does a ton of damage. They have the bazooka and the flamethrower, which is good against tanks. They can throw satchels. So they're pretty badass too. But the assault squad, in my personal opinion, is the best. It's 550. I think it costs 3 command points to unlock just to go to that. The other thing with this, the last 2 abilities here are Assault Vest Upgrade, and this lets these guys carry a bunch of extra grenades, and they can basically unlocks the grenade volley. But what a cool idea, you know what I mean? Like, very cool. These developers are badass. And they're nice guys too. I've actually played with them, so they're good to go. And the Medal of Honor, it unlocks the Heroic Charge. So let's unlock those both. As you can see though, the Rangers are 4 just to open them. And all that's going to give you access to is which not all, but it's going to replace the regular anti-tank squad with the Ranger anti-tank squad. That's a pretty significant improvement. And it gives you the scouting piece, and you get the Ranger Sniper and the Ranger Commander. So, but for that 4, but the Sniper, while he's effective off the bat, and the the sneaky squads, the Scout squads, they're effective off the bat, and the Ranger anti-tank squads are pretty effective off the bat. But the Commander squad is not super effective because it doesn't have you don't have like the Xylophone yet. And you don't have some of these other things. But now that I've unlocked these other things, you can see you have assault with grenades, and you have lead the way. I'm just going to show you how deadly these guys can be. Because now all of the Rangers, even the anti-tank squads, have all of these abilities. So now this mob of Rangers I'm going to put together, well, of course the Sniper doesn't. Or the Scouts, wherever I put him. He doesn't get anything extra. But yeah, any of these attack squads for the Rangers are now ultra mega badasses. So that Heroic Charge breaks suppression, and you have the On Me, which breaks being pinned or suppressed. So, I mean, you can really kick some major ass with these guys, and I'm looking for my... Where's he at? There he is.
Hey, listen up. Listen up. New target. Change of plans.
Let's just bring him over here.
Point man out. Let's move. All right, men. Let's move out.
So what we're gonna do?
We're on the move.
I mean, we're gonna finish it. There's nothing really left to see, but I'm gonna show you. Like how badass these guys are. So grab these guys, and you can see the group ability, Glorious Charge. So they lead the way. They're not going to get suppressed. And we're going to whip a shit ton of grenades, even though it won't affect this. Go watch everybody. Oh, look at all the grenades going. And where's my Captain Squad? I'm going to do the On Me. So these guys will not be suppressed. They're going to go in and just tear shit up. Now you couple these guys with the fact that they have flamethrower, bazookas. They can charge through suppression. You can see these guys are badass. You put a couple of these guys with a M103 supporting them, Sherman, or you have, I've really gotten in the habit of building a lot of Riflemen. Look at that, bang, good night. Plus they're getting bonuses from the captain. cut. They don't even want to come here. Now I'm gonna move them here real quick just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Once I kill it, I can't just continue playing. That's it. So yeah, I mean, this is way longer than I expected, and I apologize for that. But I do want to go over this again. You see this group ability. They've worked on this, so I can grab all these Rangers because they're similar units, and I can put the charge on, or I can whip the grenades. That's something unique. Grabbing groups and being able to use their shared abilities. You can do it with Rifleman. Really cool. But I hope that gives you a really in-depth look. Again, longer than I thought because I was too busy worrying about protecting a house or whatever. But that should give you a very in-depth look at this 3.1.6 full version Infantry Doctrine. So this is available to everybody. This is no longer the beta. Yeah, it is just really cool. And there have been changes to some of the other doctrines too. You know, they've and all the things are listed in the changelog on the official forum. I have links in the video for everything to download the mod. They have their own win condition pack. You can see how far out I'm zoomed as well. I mean, this is like ultra high zoom, which I like. You know, instead of like this is vanilla zoom, I think is like this, right? But I like it as far away as possible. If I want to go in and look, I can.
Assault engineers are on
Mother,
the
you're not
lines
going to see
and
Munich
deployable.
again. So, I hope this, you know, helped you out. And if you're not playing this mod, and you cannot see how cool this is compared to anything else out there, and how unique.
We have an M3 carrying assault engineers on the way.
And what they're doing with it. I mean, this mod's, you know, they're barely scratched the surface with it. This is, they're adding new doctrines all the time, new stuff. It is just so cool.
Make sure it ain't locked in. Send your orders.
But yeah, if you're not playing it, man, I don't get it. So if you like this game, there's nothing out there even close to this. Tactically, realism-wise, all that, and it's still fun. It's not realistic and not fun. It's realistic and fun. No, I was hoping when I called the ragtag I would get something else, because I have gotten other things. Like you can get a Panther. You can get some pretty cool stuff. The randomness is cool. But alright, that's that, man. If you have any comments, questions, I have all the links. You know, if you're not a member of their forum, you should get on it. Give suggestions. You can get all the latest updates. They do have a Patreon site. It is just really cool, man. And this is only one of the doctrines. And you can see how much cool stuff is in it. You've seen probably my airborne videos. Really good stuff. But alright, thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Again, I know this went way long. But I really wanted to make sure you saw pretty much everything. And there were a few things I wasn't 100% sure about, like, because I have not played this first playthrough on the new version. You know, of like how the anti-tank squads would work, how many I could build, and things of that nature. So, but all right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, leave questions or comments below, and I'm gonna do some other ones and check out the other updates and the other things, and put some video in the other doctrines and put videos up. All right, thanks. Oh, by the way, I'm over 100 subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody. I plan on putting some kind of 100 subscriber video together. But thank you. I do appreciate all the support. So, again, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.